So this video is going to be a crash course on understanding organic marketing when it comes to scaling your startup and taking your product, software, service, whatever it could be, to market. Because I work with startups, I know what it's like, I know the downfalls, the struggles, the issues you face when you're trying to figure out product market fit and everything like that. It's costly, especially if you're running ads, and especially if you're not actually getting the ROI that you could be. So in this video, I'm just gonna break down on the whiteboard, as someone that works with startups, the process we take our clients through to really understand what's gonna work in the market, how you're gonna be able to stand out among the competitors and actually grow. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so let's just erase that, and I'm gonna walk you guys through step by step. The first step is understand your product, and you should already know this. You should already have product market fit. If you don't, I'm just gonna give you an example. Say, for example, the product is gonna be actually we can talk about one of our brands we're working with right now. It's an outdoors product, all right? And actually, you know what, even better, I'm gonna talk with you guys about a prospective client that we are potentially gonna partner with, because I think that'll be even better. Someone that we haven't even done content for, we don't even know the process, so we're gonna walk through it together. So the process of this is gonna be understanding what industry we're actually in and looking at the competition. What's gonna make us stand out, how we can actually grow. Again, the product is going to be, this is for a health slash, I would say medical product, okay? All right. And now I'm gonna talk on the basis as a marketer, what are ways that are like, compared for this product, what are some standout points? All right. First things we look at is wow factor. We look for wow factor. We look for solves a problem. And we look for controversy slash relatable. All right? Because I'll walk you through it. The wow factor. For the product, as long as you're doing organic, if you are doing organic, I'd recommend understanding these 3 points. Does the product have a wow factor? Which means when someone looks at it, say on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, doesn't it immediately go, wow, that's actually pretty cool? And it kind of stops their scroll. It's very key to make sure that the product or service is something that catches them, that goes like, wow, that's interesting, that's unique, that's different than what I'm used to. That is a positive sign that you're on the right track for organic content. The next part is it's a problem solver. People aren't gonna buy something that just does a want or a nice to have. I understand, people may buy it, but if you really truly want to grow organically, you have to make sure that it has a problem. Or I should say, it solves a really big problem, or it just has an insane wow factor that people are just like off the cuff want to buy it, and it's cheap. If it's, $30, $70, maybe even $100, and it's really just a wow factor, people are gonna think it's cool, but they're not gonna buy, or not a lot of people are gonna buy. You're gonna probably wanna run paid. All right? And you have to be really good at paid if you wanna run a wow factor product and just trying to figure it out as you go. I would highly recommend just focusing on a problem for the actual product or service or whatever you're doing. Make sure you have a problem solving. All right? And you should already have this when you built all the product or service or whatever. You should already know what that problem solves. Next, controversy or relatability. This is going to be probably another big one, just like the wow factor, because as someone that watches TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you're naturally drawn to things that kind of, I would say, clash almost with your beliefs, your mindset, your perspective. And as someone that runs content, we know it works really well with controversy. If you can have a product that has like on the cusp of feeling like people are going to be hating this and loving it at the same time, people are going to more, I would say, comment, engage, interact with it, because people like things to talk about. And hence, when you bring up a service or a software that's new, it's a little controversial. They're like, why would everyone buy this? Or, oh my gosh, this is exactly for me. That is amazing, because you're having that kind of perspective. If everyone thinks it's okay, you're not really going to sell a whole lot. You're not going to really make a whole lot, because It's not a big need. It's not a big problem. It's not something that stands out. And then the next part of this is creating relatability content, or something that everybody knows has an issue with. So, albeit, if there's not really any controversy because the product doesn't really have any downsides, or frankly, like any other products that are similar to it, and that they can kind of bounce off of and go like, this is stupid, I'm just going to use this, then relatability has to be there. People have to feel a sense of like, oh my gosh, you have talked to me perfectly, and this is exactly what I've been looking for, and I have to get this now. That is relatable. That is something that people can feel a connection with. People don't feel, angry with it. That's the controversial side. And people need to feel like, oh my gosh, I can finally relax knowing that this product is here. That is a pretty big relatable. All right. From here, once you have all three down, I would then look at step 2, going into research. Now, as the owner, as the strategist or whatever, your job is going to be researching and understanding the market. Who are your competitors? What makes you a little different? What's working well, what's not, how we can improve on the benefits of the products that are similar. All these different things you have to ask yourself as you're doing the research. You have to look at, reviews on Amazon, Reddit. I would actually say Reddit, because Reddit actually has a lot of good insights. And just breaking down topic after topic, understanding the nuances of each desire within the market, understanding the awareness level, the sophistication level of the product. These are all things that are going to come into play as you do your research, and that's going to help you craft your messaging for the content you do, for the ad copy eventually down the line, for the messaging, talking to the customers, the creatives, the style of video. All these different things go into play for the research side. So it's very important that you do your research. And we at Backsplash, we spend, I would say, probably a good 20 to 40 hours a month across the companies that we work with, just doing research alone. And sometimes even more than that. Just depends on, the workload for the month. But we do this because that is what drives results. You have to understand the market. You have to understand the trends. You have to understand the industry as a whole for each brand you work with. As you're just the business owner, so you really don't have to do too much. Just focus on that one brand and absolutely crush and understand that industry to the nuance of each industry kind of point or tip. Because you understand that you may have like your industry right here, but there's subtopics, and you got to break into those and go really in depth on what makes a prospect tick, what's going to make them buy, what's going to make them want to absolutely fall over heels for your product. You have to understand that. Okay. Once you do your research, I would consider, if you just did 5 to 10 hours, I would say that's pretty good. And just really understand it, internalize it. Don't use AI. My God, God forbid you use AI. Yes, AI is nice, but it's not going to really break it down in detail. Like if you spend a couple minutes, say, hey, find me the stresses, desires, market sophistication for this product. It'll give you a bunch of stuff, sure, but it's not going to give you that, that really, really internalized things, the things that you can only find research papers, articles, all these different things that, well, yes, AI can kind of summarize up for you, but it's not going to go in detail of the wording people use, how people articulate their messaging, the different styles of people, the prospects, what's really going to hit your audience. So that's why I recommend really study it and internalize it as the owner. Then you can start hiring it off and finding a strategist or someone that does it for you, or just hire us, cross promo. But from here, number 3 is going to be getting to work, building out the content, how you're going to structure it. You should know this. Obviously, I can't speak for you. However, we can speak for the example we're doing. So this is a medical product. Average cost is around $30. It solves all 3 of these. It's very relatable, it's problem-oriented, and it's a wow factor. People are like, whoa, this is really cool. So in our eyes, we've done the research, we understand the prospect, we understand the product. These videos are going to be more fast-paced oriented, 10 to 20 second clips. I would say, hooks that are going to catch people off guard and go, That's really cool. And here's the key point. Call out your desire, call out your audience. Because, well, yes, you can say like, hey, calling all, and then your industry prospect, that specific ICP. You have to really understand that. What is going to be the person that's going to be buying this? And of course, you'll get better over time. I'll explain this in detail over time. But you really got to understand the content, and I'll say strategy because we're not there to the building and editing part. So content strategy, really breaking it down. All right? What is going to actually hit the market in a unique way? Again, the research is going to help you develop this. Then from here, for the content strategy, you're going to strategize out 20 videos targeting different desires, hooks, as well as positioning in the market, okay? Because in the beginning, you don't really know what's gonna work. Yes, you have ideas, you have concepts, you have kind of like, I would say urges. You're like, yeah, that might work. And that's okay because you're getting started. You're understanding what's gonna work, what's not, and then we break it down and go more in detail over time. But once you have this, you strategize out those 20 videos, whether it be 10 to 20-second video clips or short form videos, or it could be long form. Your ICP is dependent on that. Like, where is your clients, mainly clients or customers, mainly going? Whether that be maybe even YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever. It could be Pinterest for all I care. Just where is your ICP going most likely, and start there. All right. Most of the time it will be Instagram and Facebook. Just from our perspective, e-commerce, software, it's just a great bet. Instagram and Facebook just has a great audience selection. You can really get, I would say, good results from there to start out and not get kind of like too trapped in, smaller areas, maybe even Snapchat or TikTok. I mean, sure, TikTok's pretty young. We're getting off topic, okay? So once you have your strategies, your 20 videos are ready to go. Number 4, this is where you actually put in the work. I know like this is all feels like work, but in reality, we're just getting to the fun stuff. Then you go and shoot, all right? And yes, you can hire it out. You can get UGC creators to shoot the content. You send out your software, your product, or whatever. You give them, they do the videos, whatever. Just get the content shot, ready to go. And then 4A and like 4B is really just editing, okay, and distribution. So editing, I would say you can just keep it very simple with, you could use CapCut, you can use the Edits app for Instagram, just get it done, edit them. And the key point for editing also is you should understand this from your research, what's working. What are the Instagram videos, TikTok videos, Facebook, wherever your products are, whatever videos you're finding, what's actually working in the space? Is it textile clips that have a hook across the top and it's kind of like far away? It could be that detailed. Get into it. What's actually going to work and develop that out for the editing. How fast is it? Do they have music in the background? Is it kind of just like slow? Is it fast paced? Is it more cinematic? Is it kind of like, whoa, this is a lot to look at? Is it complex? All those things go into play when you're looking at creating and editing the video together. And by the way, it goes all the way back to research, understanding the market, really going in depth on how we actually go about that. And I'll actually probably create a better video on that, just like break down the research and go over it as a whole just for that part. But I'm just running this over as an overview. All right, so distribution after editing, you're posting a video Monday through Friday, boom, that's it. Monday through Friday, Monday through Friday. This is gonna be a month's worth of content. Now, when you're starting out, yes, you can do 30. I don't not like oppose that. I would say if you really wanna go all out, you can do 30 videos for the entire month and post one every single day. That would be great. I honestly encourage that. I say 20 because I don't want you to feel overwhelmed by getting too ahead of yourself and that you can't, keep up, because 30 videos to do filming, and it's tough for a lot of people. So I don't want you to feel like, holy crud, this is a lot of work. And it is a lot of work. And that's okay, because if you really want to build something exceptional and actually take a product to market organically, you got to put in the work. All right. So from here, distribution, you start posting. Then after the first week, you look at the week's past content and see how it performed. Then I would say 5. You start, and by the way, you distribute, schedule out the content. Just schedule it out and just forget about it. Just let it run. Then you can start doing variations as well as analyzations. So let me just say this. You can start analyzing the content, because from the past week, you look at the content and go, that video did terrible. The next video, okay, a little better. Third video, terrible. Fourth video, mediocre. Fifth video, holy crud, that one crushed. Okay, then we can look at that and go, what was like about that video that made it so successful? Was it controversial? Was it relatable? Did it have more of a faster paced wow factor? Was it like right in your face, the product or software? Was it a girl? Was it a boy? Could have been just different genders, whatever. You have to break that down and understand really in depth what made that video tick. And as you analyze, and again, as those videos go out, you're constantly analyzing to see what's performing. You start getting ready for your second batch of work or content. And this is where you start doing variations. Okay, you start doing variations from your analysis of winning content. I am running out of room. You start doing winning variations of content, because this is what's going to allow you to start getting compounded growth, because you're taking the videos you've done already that have done really well and doing variations, iterations, tests after tests, testing different hooks, testing the environment, the space, maybe testing the same video just with a different person. All these things go into play when you're doing variations. And as you get better and better with this, the third, second, fourth round of variations, you start crushing. And what I mean by this, like, you start getting super dialed with the messaging. You started testing hooks. And over time, as you grow month after month, you start to really see, what's hitting with your market. And this is where you can start introducing paid. And that's when you start scaling into Q3 and Q4. When you hit Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales, you absolutely crush. Okay? So enough said. I hope you take this with a grain of salt and absolutely blow it out of the water, and then come to us and go, I don't have the time. I need your guys' help. Let's scale to this moon. All right? So enough said here. Follow this and you will take your product to market organically, paying zero money, and you'll crush it. All right? So with that, I hope you the very best. Take care. You can always apply down below if you want to work with us right now. Other than that, I wish you the very best. Subscribe and have a blessed day.